So unless you have been living under a rock, you should know all about 𝗕𝗂𝗧 by now. So of course we have covered this many times before. We have seen a 29,900% push to the upside for 𝗕𝗂𝗧 in just 413 days. A massive shout out to all of you who managed to get into this one early. Many members down in our Discord, led by some of the members up in Trader Tier, managing to get into 𝗕𝗂𝗧 under a cent. So we have seen a fantastic pump to the upside. But of course the question begs, where's the price action going next for 𝗕𝗂𝗧? Well, what we can see here on this daily time frame, we have seen the price move down, breaking that lower level that we were so desperately looking forward to do, coming down towards our target area for this fourth wave. So the question begs, are we now looking for that next pump to the upside? Where is that pump looking to go overall? Then on the lower time frames, we can really see the structures that are starting to play out here for the price action of 𝗕𝗂𝗧. So yes, let's take a deep dive into the world of 𝗕𝗂𝗧 in today's video, crack down all the structures, target out where we're going to go next with this very interesting project. But of course guys, as always, first of all, let's run the intro. Welcome back to Cheeky Crypto Uncensored. It's fantastic to have you here on Christmas Eve. Let's get straight on into this one. For today, we will not waste any of your time. Let's take a look at 𝗕𝗂𝗧. 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗡 is the data source for the video for today, guys. We'll start off here on a 4-hour time frame. So previously, we obviously structured out this move to the downside in this little C wave coming on down here. Then we were looking for this next bounce to the upside, this A, B, and C structure, targeting out 12.14 to 12.69. Very nice on a Christmas Eve. So we did see the price push up to 12 cent exactly right on in here, and we found some rejection at this point, which is it's disappointing to see the price not pushing up any higher. What we can see going on here, the 50 SMA, the 50 EMA have now turned into a bit of resistance after dropping below the 200 EMA. Come up to test the 200 EMA over here. We have found the EMAs acting as resistance on these lower timeframes. However, it's not a grave concern overall. We could still see this price push on up, have a little bit of a Santa rally if you like. But what we can see going on here, we have started this move to the downside off overall. This initial push to the downside, merely a corrective structure. What we will do is just a couple of checks on these ones. So we will take that 100% move of this initial breakdown and we'll take over to this next swing, which we have a high of 15 cents exactly. We'll just snap this fib onto that level, and we can see we have came down here on this C wave where we did importantly hit the 1.382 Fibonacci level, and we did not hit the 1.618. So it tells us that we have the potential for this one to continue moving on down, but not in an impulsive structure. Still looking like a 5 wave, just not being impulsive. Let's clear let's clear this chart up a little bit. Is there anything we can take off here just to make the noise a little bit less? For the purpose of today's video, let's just take this move here off also. So what we'll also do, probably should have done this before the video, guys. You know how unprepared I tend to be for some of these ones. We know we had this move to the downside. The requirements that have been met on this push overall, well, we know we have now met the requirements for this move to the downside being a Y wave as an overall structure. And if we drew this one on, we have a W, X, and Y. So we know this was met by hitting the 1.382 Fibonacci level, but what we can also tend to see when these levels are hit, we'll push this fib over to the side just now, is a potential for a Z wave to come. Now this structure will obviously come by this initial move in a W wave. In a WX, YX and Z structure, everything relates to this initial W wave movement. So we can take this inverted move, or the inverse of this W wave, and we can see that the initial X wave came up and found rejection or resistance here on the 882 Fibonacci level. So for this, we'll also bring it over to this next wick low all the way over here on the 18th of December, 8 AM UTC at 9.51 cents. I will just drag this one all the way down so we can really get our correct bearings on this one. There we go, 9.51 cent. And we can see, very interestingly, Reggie Classics, once again, if you are watching this, the 786 fib level. Let's just zoom right on into here so we can see this one, guys. The 786 Fibonacci level acting as the resistance level for this push to the upside. So this candle wicking up to 12 cents, but we can see the 786 has a fib level of 12.0097 cents. So it's interesting to see clean rejection here at this 786 fib level. psychologically, we do tend to really have to respect the 786. So once again, it's kind of proving trumps on this one. So what we can do, once again, we kept this Fibonacci level of that initial W wave. We bring it over to the secondary or potential secondary X wave high. And what we will do is make sure this one is also on the correct level of that 12% exactly. So what we're looking at here is the potential for this actually to have another leg to the downside, still in the corrective structure, and this move itself will be looking between the 0.618 and the 1.236 fib levels. So we can see that the higher end here being 9.9883, let's just bring this one up, 883, and the lower level down here, the 1.236 is 0.83138. There we go. A bit painful for you guys to watch me doing that live perhaps, but hey, it's done now, and we have the idea of where we will be seeing the price action of 𝗕𝗂𝗪 going over this potential Christmas weekend, potentially for the rest of the year. Mad to say. So yes, we have drew that one up, guys. We would obviously have to look at this now as a potential WXY, X and Z structure. Let's make that one nice and yellow, and we will take off this W, X and Y. So we know we have these requirements met. We have the potential for this one to continue the pullback ever so slightly, targeting out 9.9 to a lower area of 8.3 cent. I don't think there's a mad requirement or a big requirement for it to go down that far if we're really to be overly critical with this move, but we could obviously be targeting this one as the initial drop to the downside being an A wave. We've came up to see that B wave high, but we could see this one tap into the lower area, perhaps not breaking that previous low over here on the 18th of December at 9.5 cent. We can see that area just now sitting around about 10.02 and 9.71 cents. So we can see we do have an interesting level just in the upper area of that Z wave, where we'd obviously target out that next, correction to the downside for 𝗕𝗂𝗪. But the glaring eyes here will obviously see that we came up in a 5-wave structure, and we know what we're going to look for next, for CASI's price action. For that, of course, we will come over to that daily time frame. In fact, before we do, let's come back down to here. We have this as a W, X, Y, X, and Z structure. Now, for you guys who can't obviously pay attention to all of the videos all of the time, which is perfectly understandable, what we can also see here is over on the 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘 Twitter page, or the X page rather, we can see 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗠𝗠𝗘𝗥𝗠 had obviously kept this one updated, talking about CAS meeting the requirements for the Z wave down is another pump coming for 𝗕𝗂𝗪. So what we can see here on the analysis that 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗠 did do, tracking the exact same structure we are looking at here today, he's also looking for this move down into the Z wave before we do look for this next, impulsive breakout to the upside. So yeah, head on over to the 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗠𝗠𝗘𝗥𝗏 X page, follow along, getting all these updates every day. 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗠 putting out some fantastic short content on there for you guys who cannot obviously keep up to date always with the videos. It is of course linked in the description down below. So back to the charts, guys. Let's jump onto that daily. Well, we can see that we were looking for this to really break this range that we were stuck in on this daily time frame. It was very static, trading sideways, since around about the 19th of November to about the 16th of December, so about a month of just trading sideways, stuck in this range that you can see we have highlighted here in this white upper line, white lower line. So we know that we broke the lower area here, which is absolutely fantastic. We'll take this one off. So what we're looking at is this W, X, Y, X, and Z to the downside inside this move here. If we were just to draw this one on for reference, W, X, Y. Oh, that was a wrong indicator, the wrong lines there. W, X, Y came up into its secondary X wave, and we're looking for that Z wave bringing us down here. But what is very interesting on this chart is we have this this box here marked up already between 9.3254 and 7.9642. This is the typical retracement area for the wave 4 in this macro structure we're looking at. Let's zoom out on this one, but we can see we are looking at this as a 5-wave move to the upside in this yellow 5-wave structure, all of this being inside the C wave, of course. But what we can see going on here is the target area for the 4th wave, or the typical retracement area. Now, for anyone that hasn't been keeping up to date with the videos, you take the low of the wave 2, the high of the wave 3, and you're looking for that 38.2 to the 50% retracement, where we can see we already have this one mapped out. So it's fantastic to see the price come down towards there. Now, of course, we can see the price did come down very close to here, with the price coming down to 9.51 cents, not quite meeting the the target area. We could potentially see that move complete. However, we know on those lower time frames we are still looking for that further correction down within this Z wave. If we're just to draw this one on one more time, we won't do this overly accurate, we'll just put it on the charts for the purpose of today's video. well, we can see we are looking to, really come down a little bit more here for CAS, perhaps filling out this fair value gap that we are stuck in. On this daily time frame, we can see this fair value gap, the imbalance in the markets from this push to the upside over here on the 15th of November. It has a low of 9.103 cents, a high of 11.1223. So we can see we are stuck in this fair value gap. I would like to see the price, really just come down one little bit more, test out this lower line, perhaps fill out this fair value gap, which would really wrap up a lot of things on this chart for us. First of all, it would wrap up this Z wave move to the downside. Secondly, it would wrap up this fourth wave move to the downside, coming into both of their target areas. I would really like to see a test of equilibrium, find some really good support here on equilibrium. That would really incentivize us to go long or to really think about this next move for, the price action of 𝗕𝗂𝗪. Now, previously we were obviously tracking this fifth wave with a high of 16.61 and a higher area of that target area at 18.60. We now know that we can adjust this a little bit more accurately. So first of all, we could look at this one with the price coming down to that 9.51 cent level, where we will now be looking at the 1.236 to the 1.618, looking at 17.3 to 20.9. However, we know that we already have the idea here that we are still to come back down one more time for the price action of CAS, potentially coming down a little bit lower. Like we previously said, it don't have to come down lower in the structure, but it looks like it may want to. So if we were just to take the higher level of the bigger typical retracement area here at 9.3254, we can just drag this one down ever so slightly more. Well, we can now start to target out this fifth wave with a bit more purpose, I think is the correct way to put this one, and it obviously brings that price a little bit higher. We can see up here the 1.236 and the 1.618 fib levels. So the 1.618 fib level now coming at 0.211684 and the 1.236 coming at 17.4514 cents for that fifth wave move. Overall, this is telling us, we do still have this push to the upside for the price action of CAS. Yes, we still have a correction to come. We'll mark this one up. We are still looking for that correction before we see this next explosive move. And in this next explosive move, guys, we will obviously be looking for a wave 1, a wave 2, a wave 3, a wave 4, and a wave 5. We will be looking for an impulsive breakout move, which is great. This one ideally will be an impulsive move. It can be many structures being a fifth wave, but most typically we will look for this one to be a 5-wave move, and rest assured you will see us covering this one off as much as we can. When we do look at the stochastic positioning, but we can see that the daily still has a little bit of momentum to the downside. What we can see going on here is the yellow stochastic having a bit of a turn to the downside, looking for this one really to to continue finishing this move to the downside in that Z wave we're looking at. Once we do see this one finish off, cool off a little bit more, we will look for that next explosive move to the upside, which once again really relays to the moves we're looking at on the charts, looking for CAS to really pump up another 7, maybe another 10 cent. And when we do look at that possibility, guys, we do have a fantastic opportunity to see CAS push up perhaps 87% with a higher level of around about 126%. That will be absolutely fantastic. And when we come over to that weekly chart, well, we can see we're just looking for this move to the upside to finish off. Let's just drag this one over a little bit more. We can see we're just looking for that move to finish off. We have been targeting 14.28 with a higher level of 20.32 cents here for CAS ever since we really started covering off here, and we can see that target area for the fifth wave taking us up to a high of 21 cents on that weekly chart. Everything is really starting to merge together for CAS's price action. But guys, I will leave that one there for today. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. I hope you've enjoyed today's update on CAS, and most importantly, I hope you guys are all well prepared and ready for Christmas tomorrow. Hope you enjoy it, spend it with your loved ones. Any of those of you who are not spending it with anyone, need to reach out, join us down in Discord, reach out. We're always here, friendly ear, somebody to talk to if it is somebody that you need. We're all friends down in Discord, guys. Head on down there if you need anything over the Christmas period. We're always going to be there. Yeah, guys, I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Any questions, stick them in the comments down below. Any comments for today's video, of course, stick them in the comments down below. If you are going to trade, especially over this Christmas period, please do trade safely. Have a nice tight stop loss, make some great gains, stay safe in the space, and until next time, have a very nice day.